Every archaeologist has a fishing story, a moment when they found something so unbelievable that even their peers refused to buy it. A lot of paleontologists have tales just like that, and every one of them deserves to be heard. We've had the privilege of hearing quite a few ourselves, and now we're sharing them with you in this video packed with fascinating discoveries. Let's start off with number 15, painted burial vaults beneath Bruges. Painting the inside walls of a burial vault seems like an oddly pointless effort. After all, no one's going to admire the decor once it's sealed shut. But during excavations at the Church of Our Lady in Bruges, Belgium, back in September 2021, archaeologists uncovered two painted burial vaults dating back to the 14th century. A third vault was found too, though it lacked decoration. Inside the chambers, researchers found the skeletal remains of 50 individuals, along with rusted nails that once held their now decayed wooden coffins. The most ornate of the vaults is coated in vivid religious murals, including scenes of angels and biblical events. One of them a gruesomely graphic portrayal of Calvary. The second vault includes another depiction of the crucifixion, this time with Christ on the cross flanked by Mary and Joseph. The extent and quality of the artwork are remarkable, especially considering that medieval burial laws required interment within 24 hours of death. Because the site will soon house a subterranean pumping station, the vaults will be removed intact and relocated to a museum. It's just soul-blowing. Number 14. The Curse of the Thatford Horde. What's more mysterious, the Thatford Horde itself, or the fate of the man who found it? In late 1979, a treasure trove of late Roman gold and silver jewelry was unearthed on Gallows Hill, near Thatford, Norfolk. The collection featured necklaces, bracelets, pendants, and rings dating back 1,600 years. But it was found illegally by a man using a metal detector on private land without permission. Instead of reporting the discovery, he tried to sell the artifacts to private collectors. Before legal action could be taken, he died suddenly in July 1980. His death has led to rumors that the hoard is cursed, though no proof supports that. What is certain is that the full extent of the treasure may never be known. Some items were likely sold off before he was caught, and none have resurfaced. The Thatford Horde remains incomplete, a treasure clouded by secrecy, greed, and an untimely death that left questions behind. What do you think of it? Number 13. The Forgotten Underground Village of Salmon. A routine archaeological survey near the Iranian city of Salmon revealed something unexpected back in 2019. An entire underground settlement hidden beneath the surface. No one had any idea it existed until the excavation began. The subterranean complex includes 50 spacious rooms, each likely used as residences and connected by a labyrinth of tunnels. Researchers also discovered the remains of 60 individuals, suggesting the space later served as a burial ground. Based on artifacts at the site, the village is believed to date back approximately 250 years, possibly to the Parthian Empire. Surprisingly, aside from a few ceramic pieces, almost no personal belongings were found, making it difficult to piece together the lives of those who once lived there. With plenty of habitable land above ground, it's unclear why anyone would choose to live in such darkness. And yet, the reasons for going underground and staying there remain completely unknown. Frustratingly, even after years of study, no solid theories have emerged. Number 12. The Reindeer of Brunik. Some of the earliest known sculptures carved by humans depict animals from their daily environment. In Ice Age France, that meant reindeer. Around 13,000 years ago, someone near what's now the village of Brunik watched two reindeer swimming and was inspired enough to carve them into art. The resulting piece, made from a single mammoth tusk using stone tools, was then polished and etched. It now sits among the oldest items in the British Museum. From 1866 until 1904, the sculpture was thought to be two separate objects. until a French archaeologist visiting the museum realized the halves fit together, forming one seamless work. A male and female reindeer swimming side by side. The carving served no functional purpose and is seen as pure artistic expression, proof that our Ice Age ancestors were capable of deep creativity. Their artistic instincts weren't primitive. They were observant, deliberate, and deeply attuned to the world around them. Number 11. The overlooked pyramids of Tukume, Peru, hold so many ancient ruins that some are barely acknowledged, and among them sits Tukume, the Valley of the Pyramids. And let's say, it's just awesome. Far from modern towns and stranded between the Andes and the Pacific, the site spans 3 ancient cities, with more than 250 pyramids dotting the desolate plain. Each settlement seems to have been established only after the previous one was abandoned, but no records explain why they were deserted. Tukume itself likely rose around the year 1100 and remained active for 5 centuries. The Sican culture is thought to have built it, followed by the Chimu, and later the Inca. Nearby, the Tami Canal may have been constructed simultaneously. Yet no archaeological dig happened until Thor Heyerdahl launched one in 1998. Tombs were uncovered, but very few artifacts were found. Curiously, locals call the place Purgatorio instead of Tukume, possibly linked to old stories that Catholic priests hurled heretics off the pyramid tops for defying the church. Number 10. The Trap Rain Law Horde Mystery. In 1919, on a hillside near East Lothian, workers found a large stash of Roman-era silver, now known as the Trap Rain Law treasure. But the metal had been deliberately hacked into hundreds of fragments. These broken pieces, dated to about 1600 years ago, mark the end of Roman Britain and the onset of the Dark Ages. Most appear to have come from a single giant dish that would have been among the largest Roman silver vessels ever found, had it remained whole. Early theories claimed local raiders looted and destroyed it purely out of barbaric impulse, but recent scholarship disputes that. Today, many believe it was hack silver, cut intentionally for use in trade. After the Roman exit, coins lost value, and silver was weighed instead. Artisans and traders began using fragments of jewelry, tableware, and tools to barter. Still, no one knows who buried the hoard or why it was never reclaimed. Its broken state holds both history and enigma. Number 9. Ancient samurai sword in the attic. Back in July 2019, an extraordinary discovery was made in the attic of Kasuga Taisha Shrine in Nara. Despite the shrine's historical significance, caretakers had assumed the old blades stored there were nothing more than rusted relics. During preparations for a once-every-2-decade ceremony, the swords were removed and cleaned, some for the first time in decades. Among them was a corroded weapon that, once polished, caught the eye of a visiting expert. It turned out to be an incredibly rare 12th century Kohoki blade, one of the oldest surviving examples of its kind. Experts believe it was likely a custom heirloom, forged for a high-ranking samurai and passed down through generations. Its craftsmanship bears hallmarks of Yasutsuna, a legendary swordsmith of the era. What had been mistaken for scrap metal is now recognized as a national treasure, and it has since been given a permanent place in the shrine's museum, where it should have been displayed all along, not forgotten in a dusty storage room. Number 8. The Laguna Copper Plate Mystery. Much of the Philippines' ancient past remains obscure, with early cultures developing in isolation and leaving behind few records. That's why the Laguna copper plate is such a pivotal find. The plate, dated to the year 822, was discovered in 1987 during dredging of the Lumbang River. Its inscription, written in early Kawi script, opens with a formal salutation. Hail in April of the Saka year 822. The astronomer says that the 4th day of the dark half of the moon is Monday. While the translation is correct, the meaning remains elusive. Some believe the plate originally had a counterpart that would have clarified the context. What's certain is the significance of the Kawi script itself. Originating from Java, its presence in the Philippines suggests deeper cultural connections between the regions than previously thought. Whether it marks a forgotten alliance, trade, or migration, the Laguna copper plate offers a rare glimpse into early Filipino literacy and diplomacy. Number 7. The gold teeth of Bolinao skull. The Bolinao skull gives us a rare and striking glimpse into pre-colonial Filipino culture. Dated to the 14th century, the skull was unearthed at the Balingasay archaeological site in Bolinao, Pangasinan, though the exact date of discovery remains undocumented. What sets this skull apart is its gold dental embellishments, crafted to resemble fish scales. For anyone into jewelry or even wrap culture, this could easily be considered the earliest example of a grill. The technique involved drilling directly into the teeth and inserting small gold pegs, a painful but status-driven display of wealth. Historical records show that pre-Hispanic Filipinos also stained their teeth red or black for the same reason. This elaborate dental modification, called pusad, is regarded as an early form of cosmetic dentistry. No other skull in the world bears this same kind of decoration, making it one of the most culturally significant remains ever found in the Philippines. Number 6. The evolving recipe of ancient gunpowder. The arrival of gunpowder completely reshaped the landscape of warfare. Originating in China in the early 10th century, it took nearly 300 years to spread across Eurasia. Along the way, its formulation was constantly altered in pursuit of greater potency and destruction. While the core trio of charcoal, sulfur, and potassium nitrate provided the explosive force, early Chinese records also show the experimental use of camphor, varnish, and even brandy. Over time, proportions shifted. In the 1300s, potassium nitrate levels rose while charcoal was reduced, likely for safety during transport. But in the 1400s, the formula reversed again, boosting charcoal and sulfur while dialing back the nitrate, which caused the mixture to burn hotter and become dangerously unstable. Liquids like brandy or water were likely introduced as stabilizers. Surprisingly, some 15th century formulas survive today, not for warfare, but for fireworks, preserving the legacy of these volatile ancient experiments in controlled bursts of color and sound. Number 5. Roman temple converted into brick factory. In Britain, it's not uncommon to hear Christians complain about old churches being replaced by secular buildings. But that trend is hardly new. A sacred Roman site near Priors Hall Park in Corby, England, dating back 1,900 years, was once turned into a brick-making plant. Between 2011 and 2016, archaeologists uncovered more than 40 Roman villas in the area. In December 2020, they found this particular site behind one of the villas. Originally a Romano-Celtic temple and mausoleum, it stood on an elevated ridge, likely to add prestige. Its rectangular courtyard and temple cella are typical in layout. But by the 3rd century, kilns had been added, and remnants of brick and tile production were scattered across the space. Even the ancient walls were reused as a trackway. Part of the cella's eastern wall was demolished to create an entry to the kiln zone. Such a blatant act of desecration raises questions archaeologists still can't answer. Number 4. 60 mammoth skeletons. Found in Mexico. Uncovering a single mammoth skeleton is a major archaeological event. Discovering 60 at once is extraordinary. That's exactly what happened in late 2019 when a team excavating the site of a new airport in Mexico unearthed a mass of bones. Alongside the mammoths, they also found the remains of camels, horses, and 15 humans. Dating back around 15,000 years, the discovery provides strong evidence that ancient humans regularly hunted mammoths, something previously doubted. The layout of the bones and the surrounding soil indicates that Neolithic people trapped them in a large hand-dug pit. Additional pits without mammoth remains were located within a 12-mile radius, reinforcing the theory. These Columbian mammoths, identifiable by their lack of fur, likely stood 15 feet tall and weighed over 22,000 pounds. Hunting such enormous creatures would have been extremely dangerous, but the reward in meat and materials likely outweighed the risks for the people who lived in that era. Number 3. The giant Titanosaur of Patagonia. In 2021, paleontologists working in Argentina's Neuquén province made a colossal find. They found fossils that may belong not just to the largest known dinosaur, but potentially the largest animal to ever walk the earth. The remains appear to be from a Titanosaur, a Cretaceous-era behemoth already recognized as the largest dinosaur species. Based on the bones retrieved so far, this specimen likely stretched over 150 feet in length and may have weighed up to 100 tons. Because only part of the skeleton has been found, scientists are extrapolating size based on what's available. If their estimates are correct, it would surpass the blue whale, the current title holder, as Earth's largest known creature. Blue whales can reach 110 feet and weigh around 170 tons. But in terms of sheer length, this ancient titan would easily leave them in the dust, assuming those numbers hold. This massive lizard might just redefine the size limits of prehistoric life. Number 2. The Ulaburan Shipwreck. Believed to be over 3,300 years old, the Ulaburan Shipwreck lies just off Turkey's southwestern coast and is among the oldest and wealthiest wrecks ever recovered. It was accidentally found by a Turkish sponge diver in 1982, sparking an archaeological frenzy. Among the sunken cargo were valuable copper ingots and clay jars once filled with grapes and figs. The vessel's design suggests it may have sailed from Cyprus, though its design also hints at a Syro-Palestinian origin. The remaining wood is too scarce for carbon dating, so the age estimate relies on a gold scarab inscribed with Queen Nefertiti's name. Because the ship's hull didn't survive, the reason for its sinking remains a mystery. Yet considering its size and the volume of cargo on board, its loss would have dealt a severe blow to whoever owned it. The combination of rare materials and the unknown backstory continues to fascinate historians and divers alike. All right, let's end this with Number 1. The Staffordshire Horde. As impressive as the trap-rain silver may be, it pales beside the Staffordshire Horde, the largest cache of Anglo-Saxon gold, silver, and metalwork ever unearthed in the UK. Over 4,600 artifacts were recovered together in Hammerwich, Staffordshire, in 2009. Archaeologists believe the hoard was buried in the mid-7th century, when this area belonged to the Anglo-Saxon kingdom of Mercia. Every object belonged to or was designed for a man. There's no trace of women's jewelry or household items. The Birmingham Museum and Art Gallery paid around $5 million for the hoard, though experts suspect its true worth is much higher. Most scholars believe it was a military reserve or war treasury, explaining the absence of female belongings and the presence of battlefield items. Only 3 pieces have religious associations. Everything else points to warfare. Whether it was tribute, spoils, or storage for a lost army, the hoard offers an unmatched look at early medieval power and elite warfare. If you've enjoyed this video, be sure to like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you soon in the next one.